You are watching Channel Adrian TV.
Yo, YouTube, what up? Welcome back to Channel Adrian TV, and y'all know me as Adrian. But before we get today's video, y'all know what y'all need to do. Subscribe to the channel, like and comment on the videos. Also follow me on Rumble because I do post over there as well. There's been a video that's been going viral, and I wanted to talk about it because it does talk about the dynamics between men and women. And to be honest with you, I think she's right, and I think this is one of the harsh truths that men need to learn about women. So I'm going to play the video and then I'm going to give you my thoughts about why men need to learn this, especially younger men before they get into their early 20s, mid 20s, or late 30s. So let's watch the video and I get back.
Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that.
Yes,
we will talk.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough to stay in a relationship with them.
But when I say a good man, I mean like he's good. That means all around. That means himself, spiritually, mentally, physically.
That's great.
Healthily, like he's a good man.
That doesn't mean that he's the man for you. And
right.
Maybe when you're going through these motions of getting to know him, you're realizing, okay, he's a great person, but honestly, I don't fuck with his humor. Like, he could be funny, but he's not funny to me.
And that's why a lot of modern women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no man, because he's a good man, but because he's not funny, you gotta throw that out.
They're both right, but first let me start with what the woman on the left is saying. What she's saying is the guy may be good, but as far as swag, in other words, as far as like sexual attraction, that really, I can't say no other way, that gets her box wet, he may not fit that type. Like you saw the animation where they had the money, character, all the things what makes a good man. But the other things like swag, coolness, anything you want to describe other outside of their basic providing, he may not fit that for her. And she's absolutely right. But then the woman on the black, in all black, she's also right. That's why a majority of women are becoming single and childless. But to be honest with you, I agree with the woman in the tan. It's because, okay, if you're not really into that guy, you're more into him for the protection and providing. Now, we all know, like I did in previous videos, that love is conditional for men. So you need to tell him that, so he knows where he stands. But we all know a majority of people's relationships have selective honesty. They aren't that honest because the woman in the black, she's married. She may very well think her husband is corny and, she's cooler than him or whatever. But since he's a good man, she's willing to put that aside. Now, you may be saying, well, Adrian, isn't that the more mature route to go? Yes, only if he knows that. Because most men seem to think, and I don't know why men think this, that they're... Okay, let me use this analogy. Most men think women see them like the LeBron James or Anthony Davis of the team. Whereas in the women's eyes, deep down inside, the woman sees him as a role player, not the star Anthony Davis or LeBron James. In other words, everybody else on the roster except for the superstars. And the reason I think women should be open about this, like the woman in the tan was, and why men need to understand this is because we need to be open and honest with each other so we understand what it is from the get-go. That's why when kids get involved in these nasty divorces, or you see these not abusive but toxic relationships, it's because you wasn't completely honest. For example, I have said in numerous videos, one of my biggest things is the woman has to be in shape and she has to take working out seriously. So by me saying that, if I were to get with a woman who who was overweight and didn't take working out seriously, I need to let her know, look, I am settling because you are giving me the attention I want, but I'm not necessarily as attracted to you. And to me, if you're going to be an adult, you need to express those things like the woman in the tan is. So it's kind of the situation of damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think you need to be honest and do tell that person exactly in the tan what she's saying. Because I don't know what self-respecting man who would be with a woman if she doesn't view him like the star, like a LeBron James or Anthony Davis type. Think about that think about that example I used. Now, that's just my take on it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because as long as we're honest with each other, I think that's the best thing. And I know y'all may be saying, well, Adrian, I'm married and my wife thinks I'm like the LeBron James or Anthony Davis. Odds are, if y'all were to have that tough and harsh and open conversation, I guarantee you she will probably view herself as more the LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and you more the role player. And you know what? I'll do a little quick story time, because I know a woman. She's a great woman, and she has a kid with this guy that she married, and this is her second marriage, right? And she came to me one day and she watches my videos. She agrees with everything I says, but she says, Adrian, a majority of people can't handle these harsh truths, men and women. I was like, I know, but the people who are willing to watch and learn and want to grow like myself, that's why I do these videos. And she asked me, she said, well, Adrian, I got a question. I was like, okay, go ahead. She has a son, right? And she doesn't want her son to be weak. She wants her son, to be active, go to the gym and play sports. But then I saw her husband, so I knew what she was asking. In other words, what she was trying to ask in a passive aggressive way, or a non-obvious way, she was trying to ask, how can I make sure my son is more masculine than my husband? Because my husband doesn't have those masculine traits. Because when you see him, he's sloppy, he's fat, obese, and he doesn't have that. And I told her, since I could keep it a buck with her, since we had that rapport, I was like, but you knew what you were marrying. And she said, you know what, you're right. In other words, I told her, you knew you were settling for a man in masculinity and being in shape and working out because he was willing to give you commitment, where the other guys that you were dating may have been more masculine or been in more shape than him, but they wouldn't give you a commitment, so you had to settle. And my thing, I asked her, I was like, did you tell him that? Now, of course, she said no, because odds are it would have probably killed her relationship, like the woman in the black. But if I'm a man and I'm in that situation, I need to know that. So I agree with the woman in the tan, and these type of things need to be discussed, especially discussed with young men as they start to develop and start dating. And women need to understand these things as well, because if you're going to put yourself in that situation, you need to be honest with your partner, boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever it is, and let them know what it is. Because if that is how you feel, you're just really there for the protection and provision, aka the money and status, which is fine, because a majority of men understand that, but you still need to let him know what the relationship is. But y'all, let me know what you think about this, and do y'all think I'm right or do you think I'm wrong? But I will see y'all in the next video. And I also got a video that ties with this, because if you do continue to go on with that relationship, even though you're not really feeling him like that, it's going to lead to a relationship in another direction. And I will definitely do a video on that. And that will probably be my next video I drop. But y'all, I appreciate all the support. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next video.